everybody. What is going on? This is your boy Calvin from CMO TV, and we got Cedric the Springer, the excellent, the relationship expert in the house.
So
We're gonna have the honorable minister Charles Mosquitoes. I call him Mosquitoes, but I let him introduce his own self. He gonna be in the house here in just a minute, y'all. So y'all sit back and relax, and we're gonna try to do a nice little show here. We're gonna get right to it too, as soon as I get Charles on here. And because this right here, I call this game goofy, but it's for y'all little young men. It's time to get y'all where y'all need to be in life. And we're going to start here with us. And we're going to bring the Honorable Charles Minister.
the minister,
The minister.
my guy.
What's
Go
going on,
ahead.
Doc?
Hey, do me a favor, Charles. Let
Yes,
them
sir.
know you are a minister, a preacher, or whatever the case may be. Because a lot of folks are thinking I'm going to be around talking to a minister, me of all people. And you basically just lay out your credentials and let them know what's what. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm Pastor Charles McCaskill. I pastored Disciple Christ Ministries. Been a pastor for the last 16 years. Been preaching for 27 years. Married, 6 children, 1 daughter, 5 sons, and 3 grandbabies.
I heard that.
Well, I'm gonna
6
say,
kids.
I'm gonna say, like if people said to you that you don't, I guess I don't know if you said they associate you with a minister, that you talk to a minister, right?
Yeah.
Cal?
Yeah.
Because when you told me Charles, I said Charles who? You said Charles McCaskill. Charles McCaskill who?
Yeah.
It's good to see you, Pastor Charles. Good to see you, man.
Man, good to see you too, Doc, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I'm on that damn thing. No, me and Charles, we always have words. We used to have a lot of words on the line going back and forth and stuff like that. But shoot, it was all for me. It was out of respect. He didn't too much care for me, but hey, it is what it is.
I don't believe that.
Whatever, Doc.
Oh man, we're gonna get right on to this subject here, man, because this is gonna be a good subject here, and it's about young men. This is basically about young men and how you run your household or whatever. Basically, I'm gonna start with how can I put it? I'm gonna start with I asked you this question yesterday. I mean, remember I asked you, is it a double standard when it comes to? Because you told me a woman lose value as she age, and at the same time, I remember you saying something to the effect of, but a man can gain value as he age because as a young man he can actually add to his lifestyle, add nothing but a lot of positive stuff. So tell me what you were talking about on that, and when he finished, Charles, I want you to give me your take on that.
Well, okay. When I say that about the add value, because a lot of women, especially women that are consider themselves to be bosses or whatever, a lot of them feel the older they get, they bring a lot more to the table, or they think they bring a lot of value to men because they established themselves or whatever the case may be, and so they think that now that I'm older and I guess you want to say wise or older and more financially secure, I can go into a relationship with a man and be his partner. But I say more men get more financially stable as they get older. They become more financially stable and more secure with themselves. But by that time, a lot of guys kind of wind down being more mature and stuff like that. They're not as much in the street as they probably would be, or some just leaving the streets all alone. But they're more focused as they get older. But once they get older, they're not looking for a woman of that age, and they're definitely not looking for a lot of not looking for partners. You know what I'm saying? Because that's now when you say you got a partner, it's 50-50. We doing things. You got your input, stuff like that, and it seems like it's more. How can I say it? it seems like that you want to be more ruly, or you know, when we speaking of equals and this and that the other, because you know I hear a lot of women saying now that you know there's no gender roles and this and that the other. Because I always say if you feel like a man should, and what you should, a man should be able to know how to wash, clean, and all those type of things. That when he do all those things, I always point out, okay, if he did all that, then you know what do you think your role is? What would you become to him? Why would you feel like it's necessary for him to have you? You telling him to do all the further go out, provide and protect and all these things, and then on top of that, he got to come home and cook and clean and this and that the other. So where you fit in and all this?
Go ahead, Charles. Tell me your take on that.
So we talking about the gender roles.
Basically the value is it a double standard? With a woman, her value drops as she age, but when a man age, his value can actually elevate.
The thing is about a woman that she's born with value. So a woman is born with value. Her greatest value is between 18 and 25. We love women fit, attractive, sexual available, and pure as possible. That's when she's more valuable. A man values increase because he got to earn everything he gets. So as a man get older, his value increase because he's more stable financially, being he's the provider. So seeing him being a provider, he gonna provide more as he get older because his money is greater. But a woman, most time even when a man at that age, 50 years old, 60, if he ain't got a woman, he's gonna look for a young one because they're more valuable. Because they hadn't been used as much, they're easier to mold. They're more attractive, and that's what he wants. No different than going to a car lot, getting a car. You want the one with the less miles that you can get. But a man's value always increase over time as he builds his assets and his money. Because he got to have something. He's not born with no value. He has to fight to get his. So I totally agree with him. Yeah, a man has to fight to get his value.
So let me say this. So this is the question that I always come up to. You know, when you hear, because I'm talking about women who are, you know, they established, but they think that they're, you know, well, they call themselves bosses. They established, they call themselves bosses. And when they talk about an older man, one of a young woman, first thing come out their mouth is, oh, y'all want somebody slave or somebody dumb. I'm like, no, that is not the case. But you just spoke on it, just saying that. When you say the word mold, they think that, you know, that's they think of that as a bad thing. Oh no, I got to stand on my own. I'm independent. Ain't nobody gonna be making. And I'm not like that ain't even the case.
Yeah.
But when you older and you,
I'm gonna tell you why they say that.
Huh? Go ahead, Charles.
I'm gonna tell you why they say that. They say that because they was once young. They never gonna be young again. So they bash youngness because they never gonna be young again. They can't never go back and get them years. Why would you fight somebody young when you used to be young? You fight it because you're not young though. Knowing this, no one wants something that everybody used and then say, I want a person tag. So you want it pure as possible. You want to be the first owner. You don't want it be owned by everybody then say, now I want to own it. That's why when women say, I'm a boss chick, I got this money, men don't want that. Men don't need boss chicks. A boss chick do not bring a successful relationship. Men don't need a boss chick. Men need a submissive, cooperative, attractive, available woman who ain't out here being no trick.
Since you brought that word up, because there's one word you said that they sure do not like. And at least I know I can't speak up on white women. I always say that. But I am going to speak up on black women. When you said submissive, now you hear a lot of black women, I ain't nobody's slave. I ain't going to be submissive to nobody. Now, say it. I want you to give me your take on that, Charles. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because the way I'm doing this, I got a minister here. We got Minister Charles here. Now, I'm looking at it from a biblical standpoint, and I'm looking at it from a life learning, life lesson standpoint.
Hey, but you know what?
I'm how I'm putting it.
I'm gonna tell you something about submissive. Now, I actually got this from Pastor Charles. I don't know if he remember me talking about this, but the way he broke it down to me was submissive means to get in order under. You remember telling me that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
I do.
I always ran with that. Get in order under. And it seemed like a power play to women when they hear that. No, we supposed to be here and here. I'm like, no, but we're not. We are not equal in the same because we both got our own roles that we have to do.
Well, explain to me what you mean. Explain to me, Charles. Now I'm gonna get it from Charles. Explain to me, Charles, what you mean by what you say submissive under. What do you mean by
that? The word submit means to be under or to come under. And women don't like it because that means to come under your authority. You can't in a relationship. There's got to be a leader and a follower. You can't have two leaders. Ain't no such thing as a successful leader with two leaders. A woman is a helper to a man, so therefore someone has to have the final word or the final authority. So in order, and a lot of times women are offended by this word, but there's no way you can function in society without being submitted. You submit to your boss. You submit to the red light, the stop light. You submit to the court system. You submit to the welfare system. You're submitting everywhere you go, except in your personal relationship.
Well, explain from your point of view. Explain to me why you think it's so hard for a black woman to be truly submissive to her black man or her black husband or whatever you want.
I feel like it's more prevalent now because you hear a lot of the older women, and I actually my wife, she follows this girl on YouTube, and I was just there listening to it one day. her mother is explaining to her father, to the girl's father. The mother is explaining to the girl's father, and it's the mother now telling her daughter 31-ish, 32-ish. She's telling her daughter, well, she's telling the father to the daughter, well, women are different now. They're smarter now. They're educated now. They don't really need a man. I'm thinking, why would you tell it to your daughter? And the father was actually telling her daughter that I feel for you, baby, because you working up an age, and I don't want to see you be an old maid. You need to find you a mate. And he was trying to tell her, and the mother jumps in and trying to redirect her like she can stand on her own. This is why I think a lot of that is coming from now. That not, first of all, the music that a lot of them listen to. And then second of all, you have their mothers telling them, you can stand on your own. You need to do this on your own. And I'm like, you really fighting against what nature is really, was designed for us to do or be together.
Charles, me and you talked yesterday. You brought up something about the leading role.
Traditional
roles. And you brought up
in a family.
And you brought up something about was it schooling or something like that. Just to kind of go over that and said what we were talking about, how you put it. Excuse me.
In a family, there's a traditional role, and that's why they want to get rid of gender roles, because that means we all got a part to play. The man is the head of the family. You got God, you got man, then you got woman, and then you got children. The biggest struggle that we feel in society is a lot of us became mothers before we became wives. We became fathers before we became husbands. That's why we're so confused. That's why a woman would cleave to a child before she cleaved to her husband, because a lot of times she had a child before she got a husband. So it throws the whole role off, because understand at the end of the day, if you get with a woman and she already got a child, she probably gonna put a child.
Tell me your thought on that, Sid.
And it's detrimental. It's detrimental to the relationship, because realize this: at the end of the day, a child is a liability. They're not access. So therefore, children are supposed to be under authority. A lot of these children are not under authority. That's why most women don't have a man, because they love their children more than they love their man.
Explain that what you just said. They're a liability, and please explain.
They're a liability. That means Liability is something that you have to keep pouring into it. There's no return to it. So understand, a child is going to grow up and leave you one day. Your assets is your husband, your man. Your husband is an asset because he's bringing in the finance. He's the one paying the bills. He's the one taking care of you. I heard you say, young lady, 31 years old, says her dad says you need a man. Oh, see, understand, when you submit to a man, most of us hear slave, or we hear doormat, or we hear all these controlling roles. But to submit to a man is to be protected by him, be provided from him, and to have covering and have vision for your family. It's a safe role to be under somebody who's going to take care of you. That way, you won't have to get up and try to do what a man got to do. That's why most women are on anxiety pills. They sick. They're going through mental health issues because they keep trying to compete with men, and that's why they're so masculine, because they're not feminine, because they're busy trying to compete with somebody who they should have been working with.
Speak on that, Sid.
No, I always, something I had to. I forgot who I was talking to. I said, you know what? Your kids don't owe you nothing, and you don't owe them everything.
You tell me that. You be tell me that.
I mean, I'm talking about, they owe you respect. Now they ought to give you that, but I'm just saying, when you talking about pouring into them, like financially, like, I had to. After I did it, I had to work on my wife. You can't hover over them. You can't provide everything for them. These boys got to learn. They got to figure some things out on their own. People always say, experience is the best teacher. It's the hardest teacher. If I done been through it and I'm telling you how to avoid the pitfalls, you should just listen. Because, I had a son that moved to Texas, and everything I told him to do, Charles, he did the opposite. And financially, he got caught up.
I know what that means. I know what it's like.
He financially got caught up. And I said, before you left, I begged you. I said, son, before you see anything that you feel it might be taking a nosedive, let me know off the rip. But you know how it is. Kids want to wait till it done hit bottom. Now, you're struggling to get back up, and you want me to kick in and help you get back up. But we could have nipped it in the bud when you first started trending downward. We could have caught it right then. It might have been an easy, but he finally got it back right. But yeah, that's my thing. I like, man, you can't be pouring into these jumps, because then on the flip side of that, you done some things for them that you feel like, hey, I done made some sacrifices now that you became a young adult, a young man, and then you want to give him some advice and he don't want to take it. Then you want to refer back to, remember what I did, but he don't owe you that. They can always say, I didn't ask you to do that. You did that on your own. So I try to avoid all that type of conversation. You're gonna get what you get, and you're gonna learn it. You know what I'm saying? But if you can listen to me, I think now that he got to a point now in his life, he kind of listening. He asked me more of my advice now. Dad, what you think? You know what I'm saying? As just going out there and doing some things, because he done got burnt pretty bad. So I think he kind of figuring that out now.
This is what I have to ask for both of y'all. This is a question I have to ask. Okay, my boy in here, my son, my middle son in here. Let me see what you talking about tonight, guys. This is about y'all little gang goofy little youngsters, Tyron. And I'm glad you jumped in here. Now I got a pastor in here right now, and I got the spring in here, the relationship expert. Now, this is my thing. What would you tell a young man like my son who just jumped in here? What would you tell him how to go about finding your better half? What to look for and all that? Because I'm going somewhere with this. I'm gonna start with you, Pastor. How would you tell your a young man, mentor him into how to find a mate? From a biblical standpoint first. Go ahead.
The thing is, in order to find a mate, you got to know who you are, because you need someone who's going to connect to wherever you're going. If you don't know where you're going, it's going to be hard to pick who you need to have. No different than me. I didn't know I was going to, of all things in the world, I never thought I would be a pastor. But thank God I have a wife that's connected to my vision and where I'm going. And she's totally on board with me, and she follows me everywhere I go. So you got to pick somebody who's going to follow you in the direction you're trying to go in. Who will follow you, who will respect you. A lot of times, and you got to look at when you pick somebody, look at their background. Do they love their father? Do they have a good relationship with their mom? Them different things, their family, their connection to their family, because all that is going to play a part of the relationship. Because most women, you got to challenge. You're challenged by their upbringing. If they have a bad relationship with their father, they probably have a bad relationship with their man. And that's very important. And do their mom have a man? Could she keep a man? These are very important things that I will point out. I always look at these things because these things are going to fall into your relationship. And the fact that how many relationships have she been in? Because a lot of times when we get in a relationship, to realize whoever was in her life, if they're great, whoever was the greatest person in their life, they're going to keep bringing that person up and compare you to everybody that they're going to compare you to that person consistently. Because men, when we get in a relationship, we leave fingerprints on women. That's why it's very important to get a woman with less experience. Young as pure as you can get them.
What's going on, dog? What you got going on, bro? My brother jumped in here saying, yo, yo, yo. I don't know what that means, but go ahead, Cedric. Tell me your point of view. How you
go about it. I'm going to pick it back off the pastor. I agree with everything. Now, Pastor, before you found your wife, I guess my question is, before you found her, your calling, was your calling first, and then she gravitated to you like that?
Man, understand that it had to be God, because the calling was not first. I didn't know who I was and where I was going when I found my wife.
But you already going in that direction, but I guess that's what I'm asking.
I was nowhere near in that direction.
Oh, okay. Well, because I always
got to be the grace of God. Maybe God helped me, because I'm telling you, brother, He must have helped me, because I had no idea that I would be a pastor. I had no idea, man. I was wild. I was partying when I met my wife. I was wild. I had numbers of women that would put an imprint into my life that made me want to settle down with my wife. Was she supported whatever I got ready to do? She had my back.
Okay.
Whatever direction. So that before I start pastoring, just okay. I have a daughter, so I took custody of my daughter while I was young. I was 20 years old. My wife was totally in support of that. She watched me, and the fact that she supported everything I get ready to do. So I guess when I started pastoring the church, she had that same drive. So if you got somebody in your life and they won't follow you, and you're a leader, because understand that's what submission is very important for, because a lot of relationships, we don't know why we're in the ship, and we don't realize the assignment that we are on the ship with. The word submit means to a person on a mission. You submit to a mission. Where you going? What you doing? I mean, and you got to have a mission for a woman to submit to, because understand, a woman is a help. She's supposed to help you get to wherever you try to go.
Yeah. Like, I guess.
But this is,
but
go ahead,
that was my point. When you just say, what would you tell? Like, I would tell I really speak a lot about my oldest son, because he's kind of more out there on his own, and so I always tell him, when I started to tell him, was find whatever your purpose is. You can be in a pool of women, but you find your purpose and you sit in that purpose. A lot of these women gonna fall by the wayside. You gonna have that one that's gonna cling and sit, like you say, see your vision and want to be with you, because they're gonna see that you striving to do that. So that's my thing. I think a lot of guys, the original question, if you would just find your purpose or find whatever it is that you're trying to do, and you put more into that, you can get a pick of a woman, but you can also find what woman's gonna cling to you and gonna want to build with you, though. I feel like that.
Well,
oh yeah.
Well, I'm doing this this topic here basically because I ain't saying I'm trying to help anybody, but I am trying to help somebody. Hopefully I help somebody. But I am saying that I want our young men that's underneath us, that sees us, make better choices on the choices they make. And the reason why I say this, and I'm not going to say the name, but I am going to throw out something. And if this guy is watching this, because I told him to make sure he watched this, because it's going to kind of be applying to him. He's in a relationship with a woman. Now, me personally, I don't think that respects him, right? And like I told you, said yesterday, that he had a woman, no kids, young, no, sexy, beautiful young lady. Now, you let that go to go get in a relationship with a woman who you known for years, but has a child that's not yours. So now, basically, her value don't dropped. And then on top of that, she just do and say a bunch of disrespectful stuff to you. So, as you know, this is why I'm doing this, to let these young men know you ain't got to run after these women that disrespect you. You don't have to do that. Now, next to my next question I have to ask, and this is, it's like, I think the word was submissive, but I said program. When a man gets a home, you know, he's building a home, and a woman jumps in. Let me see what dog talking about. Don't know how you met Pastor, bro, but he's absolutely 100 correct, because I hope my nephew is still listening. And me and you both, dog. I hope he's listening too. And
you don't know how you met a pastor. I don't think nobody can believe this one, but go ahead. But I know y'all. It's all right. I know y'all. I know how everything went down.
But anyway, you got a home.
Hey, we work together.
Yeah.
Hey, Pastor got a job.
Yeah, we all work together. I guess this is what I'm saying. Charles, you got a home. Said you got a home. Now, I'm going to say program. You have a program at your home to where this is how you're going to run your household. Now, do you get any pushback on how you feel what's best to be ran in your household, and tell these young men how and what to do if they feel they getting pushed back on anything? If you know what I mean.
Do I get pushed back from my kid?
No, from the kids, from your wife, or
I mean,
either or.
Yeah, heck yeah.
But so how do you?
I mean,
how do you go about controlling the situation? I would say.
Well, when it comes down,
hold on for a second. Let me see what the youngsters say. Definitely still on here. Okay, go ahead. Say it.
Well, you know, with the kids, that's gonna be mandatory. When they get to what they say, as the old saying go, get to smelling themselves. When they get to feeling like they know everything, or you know they know better because you know they think that we haven't. It's something. It's the same thing. It was just done different, but we all know how that came about. You know what I'm saying? You want to sit up here and tell them, look, you don't got to do this. Man, I done been through that, or I know how this gonna play out. I'm trying to tell you. Of course, they say, nah, you don't know, Daddy. You ain't. It's different now. Nah, it's the same. I don't care how you dress it up. It's the same. But anyway, so that you get put back from that because they think that they know. When it comes to the wife, you gotta be a little bit more clever with it. Because for me, I don't have a daughter. I only have boys. And we have had this conversation, which I had to ask my wife, you know, respectfully just tell her, you know, I don't know how long you think you might have been a man, but you got to let me do this way, because she wanted to come from, I guess, a nurturing aspect of it. And I'm telling her, you can't, you know, the guys, these are boys. They're different, and it's going to be built different from what you think it should be. Something they just got to get out there and bump their heads. Sometimes, you know, you want them to avoid it, but after them talk to them for so long and try to explain to them, you know what I'm saying, that's how it's going to have to go. So I mean, I might get some pushback at the end of the day, though. She'll let it play out. I think I win more battles than I lose when it comes to that. You know, sometimes, you know, she got to see too. But, you know, it all winds up coming full circle, though. I ain't gonna say I know everything. Some things, come to me and I'm like, yeah, that do make sense. But a lot of times when I feel like it's I know what the boys are going through because I have been through it, and I'm telling her, especially like my oldest son when he was in his relationship, I had to let that thing play out. Just chill back. You know what I'm saying? Let he gonna have to see, because I think that a lot of time when you talk to boys and you trying to tell them about come to a heart matters of the heart, and they think that you're trying to come in between that, and you might push them more towards the situation than to have them sit back and look at it. That's how I feel about it.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Oh, you talk about the pushback or leading your family. And anytime you're a leader, you're gonna face pushback. As part of the job. But at the end of the day, especially when Sid talked about your sons, your wife she's different. And by me having 5 sons and one daughter, my daughter's the oldest, so she left home first. She's 31 years old now. So, but my sons, they have had pushbacks because women see things different than men. But you have to explain to them there's a difference between raising boys and there is a raising girls. And when you're directing boys, you got to teach them how to stand on their own 2 feet, and teach them how to not be a mama's boy. But most of my sons are close to me, so they take on my spirit, and they get close to me. They're able to maneuver through life because they get a chance to have an example. Her said sometimes life, people talk about life will teach you. Yeah, well, it will teach you, but if you got a father in your life, that's your greatest teacher. One that already have experience. If they have experience, he can get you through and navigate you through situations that you ain't got to go through and bump your head. The greatest thing you can do is, even when you get hired on a job, is get someone to train you. So a father is the one that trains his sons to be successful in his home, to be successful. Because the sons are watching dad, how dad run his house, how dad handled mom, how dad loved mom, do dad pay bills, is dad consistent? So they're watching everything that dad doing and picking up what to do. Even though, of course, they're watching their mom too, how mom treat dad, how mom respect dad. All that plays in a major part of a family.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dog come back and say, absolutely don't take that the wrong way, Pastor. No disrespect, sir. My brother know what I mean. I love. He has a man of God as a friend. Dog, you better understand one thing, and I'm quite sure you better understand this. Me and this guy, believe me, when I say have had, what is this, Charles? Have had back and forth. We have had some back and forth because now I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let it go. We're gonna get back on the topic. The pastor stands on beliefs. I stand on truth. I stand on what did you call not truth? I stand on truth. I stand on what is that? I'm a no. I know this is realistic stuff that what is it? God dog it. I've been having brain farts all week. I stand on nothing but
you don't even know what to say.
I've been having a brain fart for so long, but I stand on facts. That's what I stand on. I stand on facts. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would never knock that man for his religion or nothing else. But he always knocked me over my face. Y'all hit that like button as y'all come on in. And make sure y'all hit that like button when you come in. Please hit that like button. Now
I got you thrown off now, don't you?
No, not really. I'm finna go to Pastor Charles about this. Pastor Charles, I want you to, Simone Biles. Is it Simone?
Yeah, Simone Biles.
Simone Biles.
Athlete.
The gymnastic young lady.
I heard about this.
Her husband said he was deprived and all this stuff like that, and it had the social media women in an uproar saying that he was deprived when she made all the money. What's so funny, Tyron? What is so funny? See what I'm saying? These little youngsters, I'm gonna put him on my knee. But anyway, You know, they went in an uproar with all that, talking that he was the prize and stuff like that. But at the same time, she was there watching it, smiling, enjoying, bagging everything her husband said up.
Right.
Why do you think, from your standpoint, why do you think that it was such a pushback with him saying that he was the prize?
Because we overinflate women. We make women think that they're the prize. And women, notice that when we get ready to do a wedding, and who be more excited about a wedding than anybody? Women. Because guess what? They got picked.
Yeah.
They so glad they got picked, they don't know what to do. And understand, you got to look at only 20% of black women get the statistic says 1 out of 4 black women gonna get married. Women have access to sex, but men have access to relationship and marriage. And a lot of women ain't gonna get picked. So she realized I did get picked. Money don't make you get picked. You can get all the money in the world, you'll never get picked.
And Oprah's a prime example for
because women. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing about men. Real men don't care about a woman's money. That don't make her special, greater, or nothing. We can care less.
Relationship experts say that all the time.
Yeah, they don't care nothing about we don't care nothing about their money, man. I mean, that make you attractive because I need you to be cooperative. I need you to be submissive. I need you to be attractive. I need you to be available. So I don't care nothing about no money. You got a couple dollars, that's fine. That's a blessing. But if you don't have none, most women, if you got too much money, it hurts you anyway.
Pastor,
most women want their man to be the primary breadwinner.
Pastor, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier, and you added another word on that too. You don't say submissive. Now you don't say cooperative. So I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna go back to something. When you say those words, why is it? I'm gonna start with you said. When he say those words, why are those words so harsh to a woman? And as I say, to a black woman, because I can't speak up on white people. Why is those words so harsh to a black woman when they hear submissive, cooperative, and I got another question out there. Why is that so hard? Go ahead, Sid.
I think one, when you hear, well, first of all, we already know about submissive. That first of all, they want to say, most of the women that I know anyway, they want to say we equal. They want to say it's equal. So
hold on,
if you say submissive, that
means
get on.
Said, shut up, dog. Shut up.
If you hear, I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, cooperative and submissive. When you hear all those words that women want to be combative to, especially the one that I know that me and you done talk to anyway. All these women single. So
are they looking for a husband? The ones we talking about, are they looking for a husband?
I think a lot of them look for men that they want and not the one that want them. I think that's probably what a lot of the problem is. So when you get the one that you want and he act the way that he's gonna normally act, then you be like, he ain't no good. You wanted him. You chose him. He didn't choose you. So why would he do something different? I want the man that I want, and I want him to act like. Go back to the story of Superman and Lois Lane. When you talk about Clark Kent wanted Lois Lane forever, right up on her nose. Did anything she say, and she wanted Superman. She gets Superman, and then she tells Superman, "You need to act like Clark Kent."
It don't make no sense.
I mean, how did that work?
So, Pastor, tell me, why do those words touch our black women so much? What you say, submissive, and you're gonna have to quit using these words over here too, because I don't need them yelling at me for no reason.
It isn't the good words,
but
man.
Go ahead. Why do those words touch our black women like that?
The Bible said that the woman should submit to her husband. That's biblical.
Charles, you may have to go to your Wi-Fi. Dennis Elkins come in here and say, I think a lot of times they don't want to submit to guys. They have picked losers, and
See,
they pick a lot of losers
I
now.
just said that.
They pick a lot of losers. Yeah, you just said they do. They'll pick a loser in a minute, and then compare him to somebody of a man of value. That's what I don't understand right there. How are you picking a loser? You know that's a loser because you sitting there stressed out, mad at the world every time you see him. You want to throw a brick and knock him on out, but yet you putting that up on us.
Let me tell you.
Say us, but,
Let me tell you, I'm not calling my uncle a loser. He got married. This woman chased him for years. He finally married her. She chased him for years. He never did right in that relationship, but he did marry her, and they did wind up getting a divorce. And God bless his soul. But that's what she wanted him so bad. He didn't want her at that same level. And she wanted him to be what she wanted him to be, but you chased a man that didn't want to be that.
Well, I got Justin Clay coming here and say it touches them so because they are so emotional and they don't know how much to. I'm kind of lost with that one, but
I'm gonna tell you the reason why it moves women when you say something about submission because they never had a strong father figure in their home. Submit means to come under authority. And that's why they're using the word equal, so they won't come under authority, so they won't be under the one's authority. But you can't have two heads and no house and be successful.
I got you, Justin. How to submit? You left the last word out. I got you. Okay. Yeah, but go ahead, Charles.
They if you had a strong father in your home, you'll want to be under authority. You'll want a man to be at the head of your house because you're protected. You're provided for. You have provision. Being married 27 years, I've been married to my wife for 27 years. I've been with my wife 30 years. My wife had worked in 14 years. What's the difference between her not working and another woman getting out there and getting out of the mud? Well, she got to get out of the mud every day because she ain't got no submitted spirit.
Well, let me ask you this.
Most likely you're going to be by yourself because men don't want no another dude, huh?
Pastor, you just threw something up. You said your wife haven't worked in 14 years, right?
14 years.
Now, there's going to be women saying that so basically your wife is a slave. She don't want to get out and make her own money. So what do you say about somebody saying some crazy junk like that? Another woman saying that, especially we'll say that some of these boss bees and boss women. I'm gonna say boss women because I'm gonna try to be respectable here because I got a pastor. Normally I'm gonna go in a boss woman or what they call them, queens and stuff like that. But what do you say about that?
Well, I believe a woman can work. I believe in a woman. You just because you work don't mean you the head. You still got to have leadership. You have to be protected. So when I met my wife, we both worked. We worked together. We made things happen together. My biggest prayer was God put me in a position where my wife don't have to work. And I want to make sure I'm the sole provider of that family because I feel that when a man totally is in a place of financial, he can really get the respect he needs.
Yeah.
But I do believe in a relationship. You got to get somebody who's gonna help you. I bottom line. I believe when you're young, you're 20 years old, you're gonna need some help. you ain't got no money. You broke. At 20 years old, you broke. You ain't got no money. But,
before I let you go, say it. As soon as you finish, child. Before I let you go, say it, I'm gonna read what Dennis said, and then I want you to respond to that. Say, go ahead, Pastor.
But when a woman say, "Oh, my wife is a slave," because I'm gonna tell you, it takes more. You have to be feminine to submit. That's just the bottom line. If you got to be feminine to submit. You got to be feminine to submit. Men do not want masculine women. Masculinity, no different than a woman. She don't want no feminine man. So why you want a woman who's trying to do everything you do? One thing I would never marry is myself. Ain't no two bulls gonna be in this path. It gotta be the opposite in the pastor. Two bulls ain't gonna be in the pastor. Somebody gotta be the bull. Somebody gotta be the helper. We both can't be the bulls.
I heard that. All right, Dennis come back and
let me
said,
say this though. Let me say this.
Hold on, Dennis come back and said, bums have plenty of time to spend with them. Hardworking men don't have time for games. I know that's right. But go ahead, say it.
Let me say this. We talking about wives of being supportive and stuff like that. So when I know that Nissan was hiring, and I told my wife, I said, well, first of all, we know what it was going to be. We knew it was a car company. And I claimed that. I said, if we get a car company, I said, I'm going to work there. And true enough, it came to fruition. I worked there, and, for my wife to be like, okay, now we got to move down here to Jackson, around the area, because we didn't know the area. So she come down here. Well, I'm at work. She finding the place. She finally, checking out the area to find out the place. Hey, I'm at work. But this is what I wanted. This is what I want. I wanted to come out here. You talking about a support role. So she was like, okay, cool. You want to go down there? I'm with you, baby. I got you. So we found a spot. We did that, this, and that, the other. So now that I left Nissan, I told her what my plans was. And she was like, okay, as long as you got everything in order as far as, the insurance and things of that nature, whatever you want to do, you got it. But this is what I'm saying, that women that benefit from those men that trying to serve a purpose. Now, I'm not at home. Even when I was working at Nissan, I was at Nissan majority of the time. And she was at the home, but she was making a home to her life. But I had no problem with that. But I came home, she got the house smelling good and looking good. Hey, with the money and everything, women think that I won't have my own money, this and that, the other. I would say, and I have heard, I think they said it was 89% of the household money is spent by women. So when women sit up here and say, I ain't gonna have my own money and this and that, the other, women the feminine women that are at home making a home, they are basically pretty much in control of the money. Mm-hmm. I don't look at that money and be like, what's all this and this and that, the other. And that not to open up a can of worms to lead to other things, but I'm like, hey, everything in the house, everything's good and paid. Whatever you need to do, baby, do it. Make it a house. Make the house a home, rather.
I heard that. Now we got my youngster come back talking about they submit to the wrong things, money, and he put and the title of the person, and it has to do with them trying to be so masculine. Okay, the youngster may know something. I don't know. I don't know about the youngster, but let me see Dennis come through talking about what is a queen without a king. I guess she's what is it? A man king.
You know the saying they
say, a man queen.
You know they say a king makes a queen makes the wife of a queen. Husband of a queen.
I mean, see,
a king makes a queen. A king makes a queen, and if a queen was to get married, you would be the husband of a queen. She can't make you a king.
Mm-hmm. All right, Justin Clay coming saying I agree with that. Ain't no telling what he's agreeing with because y'all been putting out some straight facts. Y'all really going in. Hopefully, this will help some of these young men that's making some arguments. Because what would you tell a young man right now that is? He's a hard worker, but he's falling short on, I'm gonna say, intellect and knowledge of life.
Oh,
what would you tell him? And every time he tries something, it's kind of failing right now, and women making him seem like he ain't nothing and you ain't doing this. What would you tell a young man? But you see the hard work in him. Pastor?
You just listening to me. I would tell him to get him a mentor. Get him someone to train him. Get him someone to teach him, to guide him to the direction he's trying to go. A lot of times we try to do something without the proper help. You can have a good heart, but you need information. So I would tell him to get a mentor, someone to teach him. Because some lessons you ain't got to bump your head. You can learn through somebody else.
Yeah. Once he finished, said you go ahead.
Yeah, I would have to agree, but I mean, a lot of guys they do reach out for help, man, and Man, I don't know. That is a hard one. It just, I just know most guys gonna follow who they think is the most. I guess the most impressionable person on their life, or whatever the case may be. And hopefully that's the right way, because one of one of the biggest things that I hate when I was coming up, now that I'm older and I sit back on it, all that bad advice that I thought was good advice. You know what I mean? Like my uncles and them telling me certain things and to do this, and you're supposed to have all these girls. Man, we just been guided wrong a long time. A long time. And because somebody older, that don't make them wiser.
Pastor Charles, Dog come back and ask Pastor Charles, what if, and I'm guessing meaning your wife, what if she wanted to work, and would that be a problem? And if she turned down the blessings you offered her?
Man, she can work any day she feel like.
Let me say this, man, to jump in on that too.
Because one thing about it, she ain't working because I told her to stay at home. Because she can go to work before she stopped working. She was keeping her money anyway, so it don't make me no difference.
See, this is the thing to speak on that. What he talking about? Married women, married feminine women, they got options.
Yeah, they got options. They can stay at home or go to work. When you're trying to be masculine, you're trying to be the man. You're gonna have to get your butt up every day. You gotta go make it happen.
I'm gonna tell you what that reminds me of. I don't like the guy that's on that TV show, but it reminds me of Everybody Hates Chris. Everybody Hates Chris. You remember Terry Crew on there? He was working, but his wife, Tisha,
I know you're talking about
Tanisha Arnold. Yeah, Tanisha Arnold. That's her name. She would quit a job and say, "My husband got 18 jobs. I don't need this job." She had an option.
When you marry, you have options. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. A marriage, a family brings a safety net for the children. Statistics says 70% of all single parent homes makes up the prison system. 85% of all suicides come from single parent homes. Children have 9 times out of 10 drop out of school coming from a single parent home. Realize your behavior is different when you have 2 people working together. Makes a major difference.
Now, Justin Clay come back and said, "Pastor's on point about a lot of things." Now, I want y'all to get something. I'm finna get something straight here. We finna get something straight here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy. This ain't Pastor Charles show. When y'all come in here, y'all say what's up to the host here, and the host name is CMO TV. Y'all get some getting. This ain't Pastor Charles. Y'all finna make me put Pastor Charles in the green room.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, let me see. Dennis say, let me see, get around more experience from older men so he can Stumble. I'm lost on that. I'm kind of lost on that, Dennis.
You talking about that question
but
you asked earlier?
Yeah. But I'm asking all this. I'm gonna go here, and then we're gonna probably try to shut it down. But tell me, 2 things. Tell me your take on Taraji, because I gave you my input on that a couple of weeks ago. Said, tell me your take on Taraji and her crying about that she's not making enough money.
I don't know, Pastor Charles, you know about that?
But Pastor Charles put Pastor Charles in the green room. I didn't put him in the green room. He dropped out. Anthony, I just didn't put him. Soon as you said that, he fell off. And everybody gonna think I put that man in the green room. I didn't put Charles in the green room. He fell off. Now you see what Anthony Gordon just said.
Hey man.
You may have to click onto your Wi-Fi, Charles, because
you sound like
Yeah, you may have to click onto your what's that because your
My
sound ain't
sound ain't
coming out
coming
right.
through.
It's coming through, but it's breaking up.
I don't went to. I don't know. I put it on my Wi-Fi.
There you
You
go. It
did.
sounds a
Hold
little
up.
bit better.
Yeah, you going in and out. And see, the reason why I talk about Taraji is because we were talking about y'all talking about how you would have an option when you married and stuff like that. Now, if that woman was married or had a man that was making money, even if that man is not making the type of money she's making, or anything like that, but she still would have an option to be like, I don't need that movie right there. And like I told you, what is that, 2 weeks ago? I said her problem is she don't got older and she see herself working too much. You got to work what full 9 months out of a year to do all kind of different movies just to make your money. Now, if you had a man or husband, or like I said, the man ain't got to make that much money more than you, but you can at least have somebody be like, don't worry about that, baby. I'm going to get this right here. You just go on and do your little job and stuff like that. But they don't see it like that. They see themselves as these boss chicks that's not, don't need a man. I get so sick and tired of black women saying that. I really do, man.
Well, I'm gonna say this about money, though. I'm gonna say this about money, especially those women that make a significant amount. Let's say if she making over 100,000 or 200,000, those who making about, let's just say 100,000 on up. And what a lot of them don't realize is this: if you're making 100,000 on up, you automatically require that man to match that or be making more than that. Now, you got to think about if that man matched that or making more than that, why would he want you?
Exactly.
That's a good question.
Exactly.
That is a good question. I'm hearing from a lot of men up in here, and I want some of these women to come through here and be like, look, this is what's going on right here. Okay, she's complaining about not getting what other stars get and having to beg for her money. She showed begging. She had made 500,000 her last few movies. That's all she made was 500,000. Man, that ain't even worth it. And then you working day in and day out. Regardless, you may not be doing the work that I'm doing, labor work, but you getting up every day, going somewhere, that takes a lot of toll on a woman's body. That takes a lot of toll on a man's body. That's why they used to do so much cocaine back in the days doing them films and stuff. But go ahead, say it.
Let me say this on that too. Because we got the pastor now. You preaching to the choir. Because first of all, you make 500,000 was her last movie that she made, and you put it out here in the public. Who's out there making that much money? Ain't nobody. You have no average earning people feeling no sympathy for you when you telling me you bring home 500,000 for 9 months or 4 months worth of work.
Exactly.
How can I feel for you?
And I'm not
cracking none of that.
And none of that.
Because I care less.
That's rich people problem right there, brother.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
You complain to those that making that type of money. You ain't the person that's going to see your movie. They're not making that.
But that comes back to the question I was asking though. Do you actually think she would have no problem if she had a husband? Do you actually think she'll be sitting there complaining?
When you have a husband, it give you. I'm gonna tell you this: the Bible says 2 is better than 1. From when one fall, he have not another one to pick him up. Wisdom is always to work together. If you got 2, you can do greater things with 2 people. That's the bottom line. But what happened is in society, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Why black women so jacked up. The white man had this thing called Willie Lynch put in place. They used the welfare system, and they said if you get rid of the man, we'll take care of your bills. We'll make sure your income come in, but we need you to do this one thing: get rid of the man. And women, they pay women, they pay black women to leave their black men. It's a method. It's a method. When we came out of slavery, they had to put something together to keep us in slavery without us knowing. Realize that this is so deep. Prison systems are created and built based on us not being educated and not having a father in the home. They know that. They know that. And what they do is they elevate the black woman so she won't need her man. So she can say she don't need her man because she got money. That's their whole point. That's why why you think they got black loan, or they got black business and loans for black women, and they ain't got no loans for black men? If you don't kill a family, kill a king. You kill a king, you destroy the whole family.
I heard that. Well, you said a mouthful then. Dennis come back and say Uncle Sam get half from the start. And then her manager has to get paid. Ain't no telling how much you paying that manager. Because a lot of them managers, they asking for at least about 30%. Let me see. But the white woman making millions. You right about that, Anthony Gordon.
No doubt.
No doubt. She making millions. But you got to look at it too. Most of the white women, they married.
Yeah, they are.
Most of the white women,
they got protection. They got protection. You ain't gonna do my
They got
protection.
Protection, and then they got a safety net too. They can fall. If I make this $500, I ain't gonna worry about it because I got a husband at home.
Exactly.
He gonna provide what I'm lacking. I can complain about this, but even if I don't get it, I ain't gonna worry about it because I ain't gonna fall short on anything. Which I'm quite sure Taraji ain't gonna fall short on anything. But with her status, this is what she needs to be trying to do is enlighten more young women that goes into the music, movies and movie industry and stuff like that. You know, if you go there, make sure you got a husband. Make sure you got a man that's gonna provide. Even if like the little young lady Simone Biles, she make more than her husband, but she said that husband was the prize.
Yeah,
and she knew it. But go ahead.
But Taraji was married before. Now what happened? I don't know. I believe she was married and got a divorce, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was married to a football player too.
Wow. He said most of the time it's a white movie. What you mean by that, Dennis?
Most of the time it's a white movie.
Yeah, I don't. You know, what do you mean about it, Mr. Hopkins? Because I'm kind of lost with that one right there. What you mean by that?
Well, you know what, and then another thing I had to say about that too is if you feel like, and I think I did read that Taraji got rid of her whole staff. You know what I'm saying? They say that in entertainment is what 10% talent, 90% business. You got to be on top of your stuff too, man. Yeah. I tell you, I just can't feel the sympathy. I can't feel the sympathy for somebody making that type of money. And if you got screwed over, it's because of your trust or your lack of knowledge of what you was doing. That like football play, all the athletes, basketball players get bankrupt 7 years, and football players in 3. What's going on? And for this to be out there, for this statistic to be out there, and you still going through it year in and year out, what's you know what I'm saying? What's happening?
Mm-hmm. We're gonna. My thing is, I'm here to actually kind of help out our young men, or even if you're not a young man, even if you're a man that's just. How do you go to? I'm gonna ask you this, Pastor Charles, since you are a pastor. How do you go talk to a older gentleman? We'll say about mid-30s, and how do you go to him and be like, man, you've been having this woman for so many years, and don't you think it's time to make her out an honest woman? And how do you go to him about who he needs to pick as a wife or something? Anything. How do you do that going to older man? Because like I said, yeah, it's just like, because my thing is, I'm tired of our young men or men just in general. I'm tired of them just making bad decisions on women because who they pick, and then they stressing them out so bad they look worse than me with the gray hair on my face, and hell, most of them be about 19 years old. Go ahead. Blacks are not usual stars.
No.
Okay, blacks are not usual stars for black. Oh, okay then. Okay. But go ahead, y'all.
You said, how do I go to a young man?
Older guy. Older young man.
You said 30, around 30.
Well, that
And
is young for you because you about late 60 in your early 60s.
yeah, whatever, 60, nigga, bro, whatever. But anyway, that's still young for me because I got a child 31 years old, so that's still young. I mean, you right. But I just, if you've been with someone length amount of time, my biggest thing is if you're trying to build a family, why not get married?
Well,
Because your children, if y'all already got children together, you're already living together. You're training your child. Whatever you doing, you're training your child. I wouldn't want no man just laying up with my daughter. He won't put no ring on the finger. I'm gonna say something about it.
This is gonna be my last question, I promise, and I want both of y'all to answer this. And as soon as y'all answer this, give me a closing. I'm gonna start.
Let me piggyback off Charles though too. Another thing about marriage too is, man, it's benefits with that, because I know a couple that was together, wasn't married, had a child. The dad wound up getting killed. It was so hard for that child to get his Social Security and stuff like that.
Right.
They wasn't married, man. And she had to go through a whole lot. And I think it finally working out like that. But you don't have that type of security when you're not, when you're not married. And the other thing about that, can't nobody look worse than you, Calvin. Don't say that about them young boys.
Stop. About to hit the green room. But anyway, Dennis come back and say, men have to learn how to accept responsibility, and most of the time, that starts at home.
That's a whole nother show. That's
a whole nother show. And what you just said, there, Dennis, I disagree with. Some of that part, I disagree with.
Because if it
I'm gonna tell you that now.
If it started at home and majority of the women raising them,
oh yeah,
that's gonna be a problem.
That's gonna be a problem.
80% of our young men been raised by women.
Woo.
So we complain about what men are like, but the product been raised by women.
Oh yeah, and see, and you already know for yourself, Dennis. Women are not going to take responsibility. Accountability. My fault. Accountability. You're right.
They ain't gonna take responsibility, accountability.
Now, if he's
successful, then they be like, "Yes, I done it." But if he's a third, it's the daddy's fault. The daddy should have been here.
Yeah, that's most definitely a different show. But this is going to be my last question. My last question is, I think said you just kind of touched on it. What is the importance to a man, what's the importance of marriage? What's the importance of marriage? I'm gonna start with you, Pastor.
Ooh.
Then I'm gonna go to you, Said.
Yeah.
And then after Said finish, Pastor, give me your closing, and then after Pastor give me his closing, Said, you give me yours. Go ahead, Pastor Charles.
The importance of marriage is structure. A marriage brings structure. It gives you direction. It brings a family leadership. It teaches how to work together in the home, in the family. It's biblical. The only relationship that God is going to recognize is a husband and a wife. Because most of us, we want to have sex, and we want to have children, but we want to be responsible for the children. We don't want to take accountability for the children. We don't want to. We want to do everything that married people do, but we don't want to be married. And then at the same time, like I said earlier, marriage brings benefits. I told a lady one day, I said, listen to me. If something was to happen to that man, you took care of him all your life. If he died, if something happened, an accident, you would not get any benefits because you don't have any legal documents, no legal papers on them. So it brings a safety net even for the woman in a marriage. But it brings safety for the children because men ain't coming in and out of your life. Because what happens is when a man is married to a woman, he become a covering to her. When a woman have no covering, anybody can come in and out. That's why so many kids being touched and being molested, because they keep bringing these dudes in and out of their children's lives. But when you got a husband that'll protect you, it's a great benefit.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dennis come back and said, my generation was mostly two-parent households. and the neighborhood also helped with all the kids. Raise,
That's a great.
was it
That's,
what was that? What was that quote? It takes
take a village.
a
Take a
village to
village.
raise a family.
Take a village. It
Village to
do.
raise a family. Yeah, it does.
In
Let me see
order
what.
to be more successful, a child is more successful with a 2-parent home with a village. I mean, and guess what? Right now, even today, the church become more of a village.
Y'all, what you said? Why didn't I tell Pastor what I said about your facts? What you talking about, dog? But tell me, go ahead, say answer that question about the
but
importance of
also to
marriage.
say, also to put on that too, if you say 80% of the households ran by women, and women are more nurturing, and the woman is raising her kids, and the dude down the street telling your kid to don't run down the street and don't do this, and that woman don't talk to my child like that. Oh, I mean, I'm trying to tell them right, but she feels as though you shouldn't be approaching a kid. You know what I mean? So when you saying, a village, it does take a village to raise a child. It was good like that back in the day, because everybody on the street knew everybody, and it was just a line of respect. Everybody knew not to get out of line. But when you break up the household like that, and then you got, like I said, you got a lot of the mothers raising their kids, and they don't want you to talk to their kids and telling them anything, right or wrong. They don't want you to talk to, you know what I'm saying? Well, probably more right than anything. If she feel like you scolding them, you know what I mean? Hey man, don't be playing out in the street, man. Who you talking to? All right, man, I'm just trying to help you out, man. But then all of that goes away, because now I'm like, look, I ain't gonna say nothing else to him.
I heard that. Said Anthony Gordon came up else. Anthony Gordon said, look, Calvin, you and Said are getting soft. I'm used to y'all talking about women. What are you talking about? Look, don't put that on me, Mr. Gordon. Put that on Said.
There you go.
Put that on Said. Said be on here with all that divisive stuff like that. I'm just a narrator. That's all I am. I'm just the man that asked the questions. That's all I am.
It's called enlightenment. It's called enlightenment.
Obviously, Said, you raised my kids. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what that is. But Charles, give me your closing, man, because I don't know what the hell Anthony and Said got going on.
My closing.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a good one. I can feel it.
Nah, really. I can't feel it.
Hey, I don't care what it is, but I'm gonna tell him like I tell LC all the time. Whatever it is, don't monologue as you do it. But go ahead, Pastor.
Well, in this day and time, relationships are very complex because we have no structure. Structure has to have a head. We have to have leadership. With no leaders, there's no success in this world. When we go with this feminist that's moving across the board, is destroying our homes and our families. A man is supposed to be the image of God. It's supposed to be the God, the man, then the woman, then the church. If we keep it in order, life is more successful. We live in a day and time where everybody's making decisions based on how they feel. Feelings does not dominate or run a healthy family or relationship or community. Everything you do in life has to have some type of rules, government, and direction. But when it comes to our personal life, we're moving on emotions. Emotions are not successful in relationships. Even in a game, they have rules, instructions, and leaders. They got to have a captain. They got to have a quarterback. But in society today, even in our personal relationship, we want to be equal so we can get rid of authority. So we don't have to submit. We don't want to come under no authority. But look at our society now. Because understand this. The one thing right now we got going on is feminine. It's a feminine movement. But look, our schools are shutting down over Jackson. Our homes are shutting down. Our society's falling apart. Our kids don't know what sex they are. Why? Because we are all out of order.
And if this man say submit one more time on this channel, I ain't gonna have this pastor back on here. He gonna have all these women mad at me because he keep on talking about submit and what was that other one? Cooperate. Man, oh man. I didn't say it, ladies. I didn't say it, ladies. Yes, sir.
They submit to their bosses. They submit to the supervisors. There's a boss that go give me a cup of coffee. Okay. They go, listen, I'm a pastor. And women will come in that church and submit to me in a New York heartbeat. I ask them to do something, they'll run and do it. They heard me ask them to do it, they'll look at them stupid. I said, listen to me, don't you ever dishonor your husband and pick me above your husband, because that's out of order.
That's out of order. I
remind you consistently, it's out of order. Because understand this, if you want this man to provide and protect for you, and you're not going to submit to him, understand your boss can fire you tomorrow, and you still want your husband to provide. You still want him to protect you. So how is it that you're able to submit to the police, the judge, you're able to submit to your boss, but when you go home, I ain't going to submit to nobody. But watch it. I'm going to tell you what society is so messed up. Because women don't listen to nobody, none of our children listen to nobody, because they got their mama spirit. That's why they get shot down in the street, and that's why the graveyard being killed up, because ain't nobody coming under no authority.
Ladies, I'm finna put him under the green room. I'm finna put him in the green room.
No,
right?
I'm
not saying this, ladies. Hey, say it. Dog, come through and say it is right. Say it is right about his last take. I don't know what you mean. Then dog come back and say, go ahead, preacher. You preacher. Preacher come his ass off here. He don't make me cuss on here.
Why you acting that, man?
Because I'm gonna have to cater to these women.
And then you gonna wait a minute. How you gonna be rude to a person you invite?
That's how he do, Pastor Charles.
I want to invite you to my house and then be rude when you come.
Pastor Charles, say something. You know what? And I've been doing this with him for a little while now, and we've been having. I'm like, dog, and he get on a lot of people. And I found out what it was. Because last week, me and him had an agreement. He did me. I said, oh, you don't want nobody to debate you. You just got to be right. He ain't in order. I'm going to get him.
Hey, we done had 1,000 debates at work.
Yeah.
I know.
First of all, what you mean I don't want nobody to debate me? Hey, you know me. I ain't
going to say you don't want nobody to debate you, but you want to make sure that you don't want always right. Let me say that.
Now, Prophet Over Wages told you to calm down, Pastor.
Oh, no. He was on the road.
He was on the road. He was cooking now. He was cooking. He wasn't saying nothing wrong. But ladies, I'm catering to y'all ladies because my sister, she be watching this and be getting mad at me. You act like you hate women. No, I don't hate women. Dog, Red be telling me that all the time, man. You act like you hate women. Dog said, let me see.
You know what I'm saying? I'll teach somebody I know you. Yeah, I know how.
He don't know me. They said don't know me.
It's only hate. It's only hear the word hate when you strike a nerve.
Yeah, I know, right? Remember why they call him Mule? Dennis, I wish you was in here because I'll put you in the green room for that. Give me your what's the name? Say what did I?
Well, they say I be bashing women all the time. I'm gonna say the same thing I always say, man. Just get on your purpose.
Oh yeah.
Get on your purpose, man.
Now on the real tip from me, my closing is gonna be we gave y'all a lot of game here. Don't be game goofy. Don't go out there picking some of these no good. And now y'all finna get the real me. I'm finna put the pastor in the what's the name, but I ain't gonna put him back there because he'll still hear me. So I'm gonna try to say this as more polite as I can possibly can be. I know I spoke just then, but anyway, the pastor was right on a lot of stuff. That's why I brought him in here, even though me and him religiously have different views on that stuff like that. But I do respect how he run his household, this and that. Me and him have had a lot of back and forth religiously. Believe me, y'all just don't know. But it was one thing that stood out more than others is how he said what he do with his house and stuff like that. And I agree with a lot of this stuff. And the man been married, 27 years?
Yes, sir. 27 years.
27 years. He took the good with the bad. Now,
I thought you were married longer than I was. We married at the same time then. When did you get married?
1996.
Yeah, the same time then. Wait, what month?
December.
Okay, I got married in June. Okay.
December 1996. I've been with my wife. I met my wife in 1994.
Do y'all want me to go get y'all a room?
No, man.
That's what y'all want me to do.
I'm just saying. I thought, I know Charles too, but I thought that he was married. I thought he married longer than that. But
I was 23 years old when I got married. Now.
Said in his late 70s, so said was probably about 30 something, if I'm not mistaken. 31, something like that.
Now, look, I was 26. Now, since we speaking on that, we talking about the young man and how to be a guy. I met my wife. Let me tell you something. I met my wife in January. Never known her before in my life. Met her in January, married her June 1996. And we've been married 27 years.
That's amazing.
That's all right.
Don't take all day to see sunshine, son.
That's amazing. When you got somebody who got your back, man, don't need to let them go.
That's right.
I'm hoping a young man that I was talking to earlier understand that, because you let something go that you shouldn't have let go, and you gravitated to something that you shouldn't even never gravitated to, because you saw it before, but you ran back to it. I hate that you thought about that. Don't do it. But I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. And this is your boy Calvin Moore. I ain't gonna start with Calvin. We're gonna go with Pastor Charles. We got the Pastor Charles, and I appreciate you coming in here, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
I sure appreciate it. And somebody else put another pastor name in here. Talking about the pastor. Y'all know this is my show. Y'all talking about the pastor. And y'all talking about the pastor.
How do you call a man on the show and get mad because they said something about the man?
they don't know what they're talking about. Tell the brothers you and your double digit is married, huh? Tell them, bro. You and your double digits in married. I like that. Both of them been married 20 years. I like that. And I like that. And we always got the relationship expert up in here, Cedric the Springer, and this is your boy Calvin.
I'm listening,
bro. C-Mo TV, it's
Come
coming.
on,
and you know what? I'll be seeing your ass when I see you.
All right.